Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Bedell, Director of Student Ministry at South Park Church. Welcome to today's Fireside Chat. I've been off of school, as many of you know, so I've had a lot of time to do a lot of yard work out in our yard this week. And we just had that big storm last week, and it knocked down all kinds of like tree limbs and branches and sticks and things. So I've just had a lot of wood to burn over the past week. So I've been doing that quite a lot, which has actually been pretty enjoyable to sit by the fire. And as I was sitting by the fire, I was just kind of thinking and thinking about what's going on and what's happening in the world, and it made me think about being burned out because I don't know if maybe you're like me, but I'm feeling burned out. All right, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually in some ways, just burned out. And I feel like I'm not necessarily doing more than I was doing before. The work I'm doing is probably about the same amount. I don't have to leave my house, so like I don't feel like I have a very good excuse, and yet I'm just burned out. And maybe you feel that way too. Maybe you're burned out and just tired. And it's really easy to feel that way right now. And I was looking through the scripture, and in Leviticus, God is talking to Moses and he's giving Moses all these commands. And he talks about a sacrifice on the altar. And God says to Moses in Leviticus 6:12, the fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must not go out. It made me think of my faith. So I feel like there's been many times where I'm just like really, really on fire, and I almost like consider it sort of like a bonfire. I'm just doing great. I'm on fire. But the problem with the bonfire is it goes out quickly. All right, and God says in the scripture that the fire on the altar must be kept burning. And I think of if we are living sacrifices to God, our hearts are the altar, and it must be kept burning. But that's really hard to do, and it's really hard to understand how to keep that fire. I mean, it just doesn't feel sustainable sometimes to keep that fire burning like some kind of candle. So one of the things that I feel uh, helps me to sometimes keep that fire burning is music, because music I really think is like a prayer. But the amazing thing about music is it helps you to feel the words that you're saying. So instead of a prayer today for us to maybe help not feel so burned out or to help keep that fire going, instead of a prayer, I'd like to do a little song today. And let this be your prayer. If you're feeling burned out, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling just empty, let this be your prayer to keep that fire burning, because the altar must be kept burning. It must not be put out. My heart is the wick, your love is the flame. I wanna burn for your name. My heart is the wick, your love is the flame. And I wanna burn for your name. My heart is the wick, your love is the flame, and I wanna burn for your name. My heart is the wick, your love is the flame, and I wanna burn for your name. Oh, I wanna burn for you, only you, only you. Oh, I wanna burn for you, only you. only My heart is the wick, your love is the flame. I wanna burn for. My heart is the wick, your love is the flame. I wanna burn for. Wanna burn for your name. Oh, I wanna burn for you. Only you, only you. My heart is the wick, your love is the flame. I wanna burn for name, for your name.